The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without express written permission of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2021.
History made in Parliament once again today. The Coalition of Independents' lone MP takes the Speaker's chair. We talk about how it all unfolded and what led to it. Coming up. Also tonight, big news. Dr. Hubert Minnis has broken his silence, stating in Parliament he will be running again. An even bigger question is this: as what or on which ticket? And tonight, F&M Deputy Shannon Cartwright slamming the government for what he says is a 40% increase in murders since the Davis administration came into power. We examine that as well. This is Beyond the Headlines. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. It's great to have you along this evening. Well, the Coalition of Independents, COI, boasting of another first tonight. Today, during the parliamentary session, Central Grand Bahama MP Aram Lewis graced the Speaker's chair for the first time in his political career. Not even as an F&M did he get this opportunity. So what brought on this unexpected ascension to the Speaker's chair? Today, Aram Lewis joins me, as well as COI leader Lincoln Bain. He also is here, and I am going to speak with both gentlemen to see exactly, one, their reaction to it, and then to discuss exactly how this all unfolded. And of course, do they think that this is an indication of something? Welcome to Beyond the Headlines, COI leader Lincoln Bain and Central Grand Bahama Member of Parliament, Aram Lewis. Good evening to both of you.
Good evening, Shanique. Thanks for having us.
Good evening, Shanique. Good evening, Bahamas. Thank you very much for having us.
Good to have you both here. Listen, I guess a very active day again in Parliament for you, Aram. You graced the Speaker's chair today. Now, how long was that sitting that you had to hold the chair?
It was during the discussion on the bill that we had on the agenda for the day. It was a short but very powerful moment in our history. And I would like to say that today was extremely special because I had indicated in Parliament my son would have been 33 years old today. I lost him 10 years ago. So as I celebrate his heavenly birthday today, this historical moment took place. Also,
the birthday was that much more significant.
Absolutely.
And perhaps put a smile on your face.
Oh, yes.
At a time when it's a sad period.
Yes.
But what led to this? I mean, first of all, how did you even feel just sitting in the chair? This is a first. Never has a third party been in Parliament. Imagine sitting in the Speaker's chair. How did this all come about?
Well, like you say, favor is not fair.
And of course, he was acting. That's it. Favor ain't fair. Go ahead, Lincoln. You could back that up. But the thing is, of course, he was as chairman. You know, like deputy speaker. He was in the capacity of chairman.
But see, what happened when the House dissolved itself into the committee of the whole? The Speaker is responsible for overall law and order, for keeping law and order in the House itself. And when the House is all into committee of the whole, when you examine a bill in detail, if the Speaker's not there and the deputy, who also has to vacate the chair, it dissolves into a committee of the whole. So during the moment when we examine all of the granular details of the bill, a chairman is selected in the absence of those two to preside over the committee. And I've been around for a while. The majority, which is the government, thought that I was capable of doing it. So I was asked to take the chair, and of course it was one of those.
So they all gladly agreed and say, no, Central Grand Bahama, you go. You're capable. You have the experience. You
absolutely,
yes,
absolutely, and it's certainly it was pretty much in law. It was in order. We didn't break any rules of the House because I'm sure a lot of questions being asked. I was asked. But again, we didn't break any rules. And of course, with Mr. David Ford being the clerk who's been in Parliament for over 47 years, if it wasn't legal, he was not going to allow it to happen. So of course, it was, again, a historical moment. We examined the bill, and just to show how detailed it is, the leader of the government business will ask for certain clause. It is move or I move now that clause 1 to 3 be agreed to. And then we ask for second. Once we have a mover and a second, then we ask for the House to vote. So you go through the bill in detail, and at the end of the day, you ask for the bill in its entirety to be approved. And once it's approved in its entirety, then the Speaker now or the Deputy comes back into the chair.
Now, Lincoln, this is on the heels of making history. Of course, we know Lewis crossed the floor recently and joined and made very public him joining the Coalition of Independence. And here you are. So that was history. That was historic. Absolutely. And here you are today. And someone say, he only sat there for 10 minutes. What's the big deal? But Lincoln, this is a major deal. It's the first time in history it's happened in terms of someone representing a third party sitting in the Speaker's chair, isn't it?
Not just the Speaker's chair, but also the opposition. The opposition has never been trusted to be the Speaker of the House. And so
you're right.
We are an opposition party, as Wayne Monroe said in the House. And for that to happen, that is extremely historic.
What do you think that even led to Lewis being selected? Because you're right, even in opposition, any official opposition has never had that happen. Someone from the governing side has always been appointed for when they have to kind of assume that seat. And so what do you suppose, Lincoln, that is an indication? I know, of course, the coalition ain't just sitting here somber-faced. They are saying, get used to this, guys, kind of thing. Yeah, but what do you suppose that caused them to pinpoint Lewis?
Fair ain't fair. And if God put in their hearts to have Lewis take that position, they could have chosen any member of Parliament in the House of Assembly. They chose Mr. Lewis to do so because he's a very credible man, a very respectable man, respectful man. Even when he was in government, he treated persons in the opposition with respect while he was there. And I guess they thought that he was competent.
Now let's talk about the coalition and the coalition in a political season, making history like this. What do you think, how does this further posture the Coalition of Independence in the eyes of the public?
Not just that. That wasn't the only history that we made today. You may not have noticed, but we also gave notice to the House of Assembly that we will table a bill in the House of Assembly next week. That is also history. We decided that the fires are a crisis right now. Mm-hmm. We're in crisis. Yes. And so of course, we've heard, the other opposition say that when they get into government, that they want to do such and such. But of course, this was part of our plan. We've been talking about this for a while. We're dealing with this particular item, and so
this bill that's about to be tabled specifically addresses this issue with all these fires.
Yes,
that really is a crisis point.
Absolutely.
It shows what is going to happen. Yes. We're going to separate the fire department from the police force. We also show.
But are you stealing that idea, Lincoln Bain?
No, we've been talking about this for some time.
Lincoln Bain, but I just want to finish my point and question. The leader of the opposition, Michael Pintard, just the other morning on another talk show host, and it made headlines around, said, listen, this is what the opposition is asking for, suggesting, and will do if they are successful at the polls. Did you get that idea from him, though?
No, I didn't. That's something that I've talked about on my live over and over, that the fire department should be separate from the police force. This is not anything new to things that have been putting forward. But this is not about ideas. We are tired of politicians telling you what they're going to do when they get in. And we keep hearing that, and there's more and more of that from this particular opposition. Every time something comes up, they're telling you what they're going to do when they get in. This is not about ideas. This is about action. And so what we decided to do was to take action on this. Let's do it now. And since this is something that he also thought of, because different people could have the same idea.
Of course, yes.
Since it's something that he also thought of, we're not going to talk about who said it first. It's not relevant here. Then he can be the person to vote for it when we present it to Parliament next week. It's simple as that.
So is the opposition slow in coming to the party? Because here you are with a bill drafted already and ready to present to Parliament through your member of Parliament to say, listen, hi y'all, listen, let's make this make sense. Exactly. Here's what we are saying needs to happen to address the fires, to ensure that there's proper and adequate emergency response in terms of fire engines and firefighters and well-trained. You also have water aircraft and all this stuff. Mm-hmm. Here's how to make that happen. Are they slow in coming to the party with just what we will do, in your opinion?
Well, we all know faith without works is dead. And to consistently say what we will do when we come to power, what are we going to do when we come to power? What if you don't come to power? These are things that need to happen now. the amount of fires that has been plaguing Grand Bahama,
I saw.
all over Grand Bahama, our
we've
hometown,
seen.
that's acting now. The fire isn't waiting. Abaco, crisis.
Yeah.
The fire isn't waiting. It's crisis in Nassau.
New
It's
Providence.
happening. The fire isn't waiting. Why do we have to wait until after it happens? We act now. And again, like the leader said, this is not about ideas. It is about action. And like you eloquently said, we have now a detailed proposal that we'll present to Parliament, and we expect full support on both sides of the aisle from the governing party and the other opposition party to support us, because this is something that is needed. It is urgently needed. We have not even hit the summer yet. The heat, the peak of our heat season, and all these fires going on. Imagine when the summer sets in.
We don't want to imagine.
We don't even want to get
And
that.
that's what
Exactly.
I want to
So we have
ask
to act
you.
now.
Yes, Mr. Leader, and also you, Aram. Let the leader respond first, then you. What do you make of the fact that we are very vulnerable when it comes to the adequate number of fire response mechanisms that are in place? We hear that there are two, maybe 2.5 fire trucks in New Providence.
The Bahamas is in a crisis of maintenance, and that's something that we are putting to the forefront once we get to the government. We need to maintain the things we do. We need to have proper regimes to maintain our schools, to maintain our clinics, to maintain so that we don't have to rebuild so much. And the fire trucks, we've been speaking to persons in that industry, and what they're saying is getting the fire trucks doesn't help if you don't have the proper mechanics on hand to be able to maintain. And you have to get fire trucks that you know you can get parts for readily.
I figured, and I'm happy that you even touched that, because obviously you've spoken with persons in key positions who can give you more information that I would be able to access. But I knew it, and I've said it on this platform. It's an issue of maintenance. It's an issue of perhaps several sitting someplace, needing parts, needing maintenance, needing to be fixed, and they can't find the parts. Their maintenance record is poor or non-existent, and so therefore we find our place limping along just like this.
Yes. Well, when you group an entity like the fire department and the police, when you have duplication of efforts, a lot of times you have omission. Duplication always causes omission. And having a particular industry or department that deals specifically with fires, with firefighting, fire suppression, having adequate training, and of course, maintenance is extremely critical. We must have our maintenance program in place to ensure that the fire trucks are properly, and even the fire hydrants that we put at certain intervals in subdivisions, where we put them in the inner city, that they are properly maintained. A situation that occurred in South Bahamia, Central Grand Bahama, the entire subdivision had 7 fire hydrants, inadequate amount, but out of the 7, only 1 was charged, only 1 was working. So the maintenance program was totally out of order. So again, having the focus directly on a ministry itself, outside of the police department, would bring more attention, and it will cause us to be more efficient and effective.
You both, and including the leader of the opposition, mentioned this sort of separation and making it its own independent body. But I want to ask you both here this evening, is the fire services not, even though it is under the umbrella of the Royal Bahamas Police Force, is it not its own entity though?
It is somewhat its own entity, but they are subject to the budgets, etc., of the police force and the whims of the police force. And so, of course, I'm an ex-police officer, so I understand how all of that works. Now they're going to have their own budget, their own leaders, and so you're going to see in this bill where we laid out the leadership, you're going to see where we laid out how this is going to be done, where the money is coming from, everything is in there. And I said where the money is coming from. We use something, for example, green carbon credits. You hear the government talking about carbon credits all the time. We have blue carbon credits that we're now going to be benefiting from. We also have green carbon credits, which is our forests. And this is an effort to protect our forests. So there's monies that can be accessed because you have to protect our forests, and you can get equipment to help protect your forests. And of course, when there are forest fires, it puts carbon into the air. So all of this comes under the regime of protecting our green carbon. And we lay out a brilliant way to benefit from that. You're going to see a plan that we're going to put up on our website tonight at around 10 p.m., where you're going to be able to see the entire plan, where the money is coming from, exactly how it's going to be done, the exact equipment that it needs, the estimate of the cost of all of these equipment. The government, for about $15 million or so, can get this done. With the fire trucks that they need, with the airplanes that they need, and everything that they need.
You see how impactful just that one sea aircraft
Yes.
was in Abaco. And I think the Bahamas needs perhaps a handful of them. Here's why. Because there's sometimes dense forests that a fire truck cannot get access to, and so what that plane was able to do is go to those areas and douse those flames.
And I want to congratulate the workers in Abaco,
yes,
the volunteers in Abaco, I should say, and the hard work they did. There was 3 persons that had to be on the ground to get this done. With the plane alone, they did over 49,000 gallons of water to get this done. They had to make over 60 trips. I think it was like 61 trips back and forward to get it done, but they got it done. So I just want to congratulate that team who've been volunteering to make sure that they save their community.
Their communities and businesses and just their life's work and all of that. I want to ask you very quickly, Mr. Leader, what would you say to Marco Rubio about understanding the relationship between the Bahamas and Cuba, the region, about our alliance, and the need for medical professionals and that sort of agreement to continue?
Marco Rubio is a politician who has been a politician for a long time, so he understands all of the ramifications relating to this. We don't believe in slave labor. I think what they want is to make sure that the staff is paid properly and the money that's supposed to go to them goes to them. I have no problem with that. I actually agree with that. The money should go to them. Okay, and so if there's someone else who benefits a little bit for acting as the agency, then that's a different story. There are Bahamians who leave here as nurses and they go to America and they work for agencies. The agency gets the money and they give a proper salary to the nurses, but they get something off of the top for the agency so that they can operate the service. So if that happens in Cuba, I don't think anyone would have a problem with it. But we don't want pittance and crumbs to go to the nurses and then a large amount of money goes to a government, because then what you're doing is you're funding that government instead of getting what you really need.
And of course,
I actually think that we should properly pay our nurses the amount of money that they spend on bringing nurses into this country over many administrations. The amount of money they spend with housing and moving them and paying retention fees, retention bonuses, etc. I know nurses who have left this country, real Bahamian nurses who care for our people, who want to be home, who are separated from their families right now because they're not properly dealt with. They don't have a proper hospital. They don't have to work in a working environment, and they don't have a proper pay. So I agree somewhat with what they are saying.
And wrapping up, how do you respond to the chairman of the Free National Movement, Dr. Dwayne Sands, who is a noted and respected surgeon himself, saying that the health situation in the nation is so bad that if the Davis administration is reelected, tens of thousands of people their health stand to suffer?
The health situation was bad under the Free National Movement also. We had a prime minister who was a doctor, and we had a minister of health who was a doctor, and we were getting treated at A&E outside in the rain, and that was sickening. People were dying in the hospitals for things they did not need to die for. And so they have no credibility to speak on the health situation. All of the things they are asking for, they did not do. I also want to take this time to give condolences to the Royal Bahamas Police Force, who has lost a good fallen soldier, Sergeant 2456 Cassius Evans. Want you to rest in peace and give my condolences to your family. He had to leave this country to get health care in another country. One day we hope that will end, but we want to take this time to say that we love you and God bless you.
Coalition of Independence leader Lincoln Bain, Central Grand Bahama Member of Parliament Aaron Lewis. Thank you, gentlemen, once again. Of course, they were here as COI to speak on making history again. How long were you in the chair for, by the way?
It was about 10 minutes.
A
very effective,
historic,
10 minutes.
meaningful 10 minutes.
Absolutely.
And of course, they are here to talk about the fact that, listen, for the first time in the history of our parliament, a third party sat in the chair. An opposition in a third party acting as speaker. He was chairman of the proceedings, but a speaker. And so thank you both very much for stopping here and also addressing some other issues as well that are pertinent to our national development at this time. Thank you once again, Lincoln Bain, Aaron Lewis. Thank you. Don't go anywhere, because when we come back, By the way, you know what I forgot to ask Mr. Bain? Is Dr. Minnis on his ticket? Because the FNM has made very clear they ain't giving him no nomination. So he said he's running. As what? We're going to talk about it when we come back after this break.
Welcome to Blissful Escapes, where luxury meets affordability. Whether you're seeking relief from aches and pains or simply looking to indulge in some well-deserved pampering, relax and detox in our infrared sauna. Enjoy a soothing Swedish massage or an invigorating exfoliating body scrub. We also provide advanced facial treatments using cutting-edge technology, including hydrofacial, microneedling, and microcurrent therapies, located at the shops of Cable Beach Plaza.
Security Depot makes shopping in the Bahamas easy. Shop the latest appliances, electronics, furniture, gadgets, toys, and so much more on our website, securitydepot242.com. See an item you like? Simply click on it, move to cart, and check out with the option of in-store pickup or home delivery. Endless possibilities are at securitydepot242.com.
Celebrate the incredible women in your life this Mother's Day, and don't forget the special offer from Cornet Bahamas. From April 16th to May 16th, enjoy a fantastic 35% off store-wide. That's right, everything you need to show your love and appreciation is on sale. Whether it's a heartfelt gift for mom, a treat for yourself, or something special for that amazing woman in your life, we've got you covered. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Visit any one of our stores today. Make this Mother's Day unforgettable with Cornet Bahamas.
Cancer Treatment Centers of America is now City of Hope, creating one of the leading cancer care and research networks from coast to coast, providing more of what you need. More locations means more care closer to home. More specialists means more expertise. More research means more breakthroughs. More advancements means more treatment options. And more options means more hope. Call now to get more of the care you need.
Comfort Suites Paradise Island is the best-kept secret in the Bahamas. Located directly next door to the Atlantis Resort, you'll receive all the privileges of an Atlantis guest with all the benefits of a Comfort Suite stay. Enjoy everything Atlantis has to offer, including Aquaventure Water Park, plus all the amenities of Comfort Suites. Free Wi-Fi, free breakfast daily, and kids stay, play, and eat free. Visit ComfortSuitesPI.com.
If you enjoy watching Beyond the Headlines, take advantage of our exclusive offers with 4 15-minute interview segments at $1,200 and 20 30-second TV ads at $2,000. Contact 557-0258 or 557-0259 for more information. Go beyond with Beyond the Headlines.
This segment of Beyond the Headlines is brought to you by the Legends of Rake and Scrape, May 10th at The Farm, Marshall Road.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. Well, Killarney MP and former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis standing on business today in Parliament. Former Prime Minister Minnis suggested that he intends to seek re-election in the Killarney constituency. This despite the Free National Movement indicating strongly that he will not be given a nomination by the party to vie in the 2026 general election. Minnis making it clear following the revelation that he would only receive a senior position within the party by current leader Michael Pintard, that he will not back down.
I come to this place every meeting as a member of the Free National Movement. Amen. On behalf of the people of Killarney, who I have represented for nearly 2 decades. They have shown me tremendous support all these years. I remain grateful for this support. My job in this place is to give voice to them. It is a pleasure to be their representative in this place, and I look forward to continuing this representation.
Well, following Minnis' announcement to seek re-election in Killarney, Eyewitness News sought to receive clarification. Boy, did we go after this. Of course, will his move mean that he is running as an independent or with another party? You heard me throughout the COI there. Who knows? However, Minnis noted, I have no more comments.
You don't want to clarify as to if you run an independent or nothing else at all? Nothing else at all?
And so there you have it. There you have it. The one question I did forget to ask the COI during the first segment, are you all offering Dr. Minnis a nomination? Of course, that's being a little mischievous on my part because I think the COI has named its candidate in the Killarney constituency. We'll get to that in a moment, but welcome to Beyond the Headlines, our contributors, Leslie Miller and Garth Rosborough. Gentlemen, good evening to both of you.
Good evening. Good evening. What a jolly night it is.
It's quite a jolly night because you know what? We saw that a minute ago,
yeah.
But let's just start at the top. The COI, again, is pushing its chest out in as sort of experiencing another first, and that is its Member of Parliament, Central Grand Bahama Member of Parliament, Ariam Lewis, sat in the Speaker's chair for 10 minutes today. Your thoughts about all of that and how somehow, it's just sort of like the right moment for the COI?
Well, what you have to look at is that the Free National Movement's team actually had 7 seats in the House of Assembly with the removal of Dr. Hubert Minnis. And now with the leaving of Ariam Lewis, Mr. Ariam Lewis would now represent 20% of the present Free National Movement strength. So when you take that one and you put that, 5 seats, you divide that, that's 20%. That's where Ariam Lewis now sits in terms of an influence factor taken away from the Free National Movement. And so right now, the Coalition of Independents, you've said that you wonder if they're relevant, but they're doing some pretty strong and relevant things. I've said before in other spaces that if you were to really seriously, honestly look at the COI over the last 3.5 to 4 years, they've actually outmuscled the voice of the Free National Movement. And I think that
Garth, you heard them in the first segment saying that they are the opposition as well.
They've acted as such.
They are, in their words, really, as you say, muscling their way in.
They're showing that they're interested in victory, they're interested in representation of the Bahamian people. We've seen a more lax approach from the Free National Movement. We've been told to stay out of their business. We've been told that they have everything under control. But I keep saying to them, looking from the outside in, it doesn't seem that way to us. When you lose Dr. Hubert Minnis, a former prime minister, you've ousted him, you've cut him off. Has that ever happened before in your knowledge? When you lose a man who's in a strong seat like Central Grand Bahama, we ask questions, why did you do that? No one can truly understand, I guess, unless you are in the central command of the Free National Movement. But once again, you've done what you had to do in terms of cutting off. Now it's time for you to rebuild. We're looking to see if any rebuilding will take place, or you're going to continue to cut additional people. In terms of your candidates, I think your time's just about up. You still got a small window, but if you don't do it shortly, very soon the Bahamian people will simply cut you off.
I think it was a very nice gesture that the PLP did today in Parliament by allowing the good gentleman from Grand Bahama to sit in the Speaker's seat. I think it's noteworthy that his son, and I give him my deepest regard,
yes.
who died on the state. I think it was a wonderful gesture on their part. I think the situation with Dr. Minnis and the Free National Movement, especially the leader, it shows you the depths to which this man, but good it is, the leader, to try to abuse the privilege that he has as the leader of the opposition and the hate that he has for Hubert Minnis.
Do you think it's...
Hate, no, pure
but why
hate. That's all you can call it, hate. Why? You had a former leader of the government who was running our country as a prime minister less than 5 years ago. And today, you can throw the man out of his own seat. Mm-hmm. It's unheard of. Mm-hmm. And it just showed the spitefulness and the pettiness of persons of that
Do
magnitude.
you really think, Leslie, it's spite? Because, Leslie, it can't,
Yes,
it
it's
can't be
spite.
that childish.
It is
cannot
spite.
Be spite
It is,
and pettiness
because-
when, do you think that's going to cost the because we're going to examine the Kalani
Spite.
race in a minute. But the point about it is, though, Dr. Minnis remains likable, a good MP by many people in Kalani, by their estimation.
Won 3 straight.
Won the seat 3 consecutive times. So the thing is, what are you saying? Has the F&M done damage to themselves?
Listen, you know, as I said, name any country in this region where a former prime minister is not given the opportunity to defend his seat in parliament. That you castrate the man publicly. You know, that you tell him, first of all, months ago, if you remember, after one election, he cannot speak at any branch meeting. For Christ's sake, I'm a member of an organization. The PLP can't tell me what to do and what not to do. Like I tell the guys when they are crazy sometime, well, Millie using my constituency, I say, what's constituency? You mean until the next round, right? You don't own nothing.
So they sometimes try to muscle
No,
arm.
I'm just saying, not me. They know better than that.
Let me tell
But
you how
I'm
you
talking
can make
about
this-
the depth to which he will sink.
Yeah.
Just to try to degrade.
I'll tell you how you make
man.
it very, very plain, Mr. Leslie Miller. It's good to see you again. Shanique Miller, ask yourself this question. Would you have done the same thing to Hubert Alexander Ingram?
No.
And if you're not going to do it to him, why do it to Minnis? You see, you can't play this game and not be fair. Because beyond the headlines, we're watching you. I'm on you. I'm not trying to be unfair to you, but I'm just trying to let you know that the Bahamian people are sensible people.
Yes.
And on this coming up election, you better get your cards right.
And remember, if they should have sort of disregard for their former leader, the man who has appointed him in his cabinet, what do you think they do to the average, ordinary Bahamian who cannot defend themselves? Luckily, Dr. Minnis could defend himself as a member of parliament and financially. He don't really need the F&M.
Leslie, but
But how many poor Bahamians
Leslie,
who
right.
who does not have a voice?
Right. But Leslie, you were
Imagine
trying
what
to
they do
say,
to them.
based on the way Dr. Minnis was treated, according
Yes.
to what we can say and
Yes.
see, that this is how a free national movement administration would govern and not care
I
for
am
the
damn
average
scared of
Bahamian.
them. I told you before, I am very, very,
Leslie.
I am frightened from the,
Leslie,
I tell you,
Leslie,
I am afraid of the man.
You have a nightmare?
I'm afraid of him.
Leslie, this is
I'm
politics.
serious.
We cannot. These
Okay, and the
people-
guy from Ragged Island,
But,
where I'm from,
that's your cousin,
he's
you
scared
say.
the hell out of me, man.
Leslie.
I'm telling you,
Leslie,
the guy is vicious.
What I am saying.
Okay, I'm scared of him.
No, but Leslie, these people, like all the other organizations, want the Bahamian people support. You don't think to get that support they would treat the people right, Leslie? In a way, they would be wrong to the
Did
people.
they treat Minnis right? That was a former prime minister.
Politics, though.
Ask yourself.
Someone may say
that's
it's politics.
But listen, if this guy knew that you are against him, and you voted for any other party, PLP or anybody else, and he decided to come after you, he'd probably destroy you. I am really, I'm telling you, I am afraid of a fellow like him.
Well, I'll say this
A man with hate in his heart is a dangerous man.
Mr. Miller, I feel that this is what has happened. It appeared savage only because the cutting took place. Cutting is never an easy thing. Had they added 10, 15, 20 candidates while they were cutting, it would not have looked so tragic. But the mere fact that you cut and people are still asking questions about Dr. Minnis, and then Aaron Lewis, he leaves. And he said, but wait a minute.
And the leader
You're
wanted
cutting,
to take,
people
want
are
to take
leaving,
Mr. Minnis' seat.
and you're not adding
Mr. Lewis'
anybody.
seat. That's what he wanted.
Who want what?
The leader of the opposition now wanted to take his seat.
That's
the just of it. He wanted to take his seat.
Leslie, that's rumor. That's not
That's
been confirmed.
rumor.
As far as
Rumor,
we are aware,
I say he wanted to take his seat.
Michael Pintard is staying in Marco City.
Yeah, he's staying there. Let's see how long he can stay there for.
You unleash the breach, the piece is loose. You got to remember, Leslie Miller is Dr. Minister's good friend, Shanique Miller. Never forget that. Never forget that.
He stopped me a couple of times.
You touch Minnis, you touch Leslie Miller, and the pot can't keep barking right now. He just simply barking.
So by the way things look and shaping up, and we are just taking liberties here because Dr. Minnis said nothing. So it seems as though he will run as an independent, right?
Whatever he said a lot. He actually said a lot going in the car. That reminded me of him during his prime ministership. When the reporters tried to speak to Dr. Minnis, and he just waved his hand and said, you know what, he just gone. Yeah. Now that behavior, I would say to you, we don't like that behavior.
No.
We like to know, Dr. Minnis, that you are accessible, you can have a conversation with us. We need to know, you need to be a bit more pleasant and more pliable. But that whole idea of just shunning the media team, that doesn't fit very well.
Well, I'll tell you this. Today, I think that was a good move. He didn't need to say anything today because after he made his
But-
House announcement.
Yeah, he said he's gonna run, so that's enough.
As Spear.
Yeah,
Now,
I'm
that
running.
today was okay.
The
But
day
as
was
Prime
okay?
Minister, of course, he made a whole number of gaffes and idiocy. But listen, let's just say though, let's say this. I'll tell you this. It is alleged. Leslie Miller. It is alleged.
Yeah, talk to Leslie.
Yes, I know. I speak to Leslie.
Yeah.
Audience, listen to me. Tell Leslie it is alleged.
They ain't kill our
Michael
boy.
Pintard. Kill who? Michael
Come on,
Pintard has never come out and said he dislikes Dr. Hubert Minnis.
Never.
That's
You
just
when you show it,
that-
God judge you by what you do, not what you say.
yeah, but that's
I
alleged.
know the hell you know.
That's
The woman don't
alleged.
want you no more, what you do. She don't tell you nothing.
No, she doesn't.
She show you, and that's what you always do.
Actions speak louder
Okay.
than words. What I say
Fella
is,
see the damn fella driving the car.
it is alleged.
That's why I always have an extra key.
I knew it was going to be a jolly
Every
night.
car I got
just
an
knew.
extra key. I go pick up my damn car, you'll walk home.
See, when you're busy, when you're busy, like the pot cake, you gotta have extra keys. What I'm trying to say, it's alleged, and we know.
My money?
Yes,
That's a joke.
Well,
it is alleged.
You know, Shanique, the reason why I
Yes,
said
go
to
on.
you about him jumping in that vehicle and not saying anything is because in my mind, what the FNM did was they released the beast into the zoo.
And that's why the beast.
It was
is
in a
choosing when he
cage,
speaks.
and that confidence that I saw with him going in that car, that should frighten us too, because that man is so strong. If I was Michael Pintard at this time, I'd be trying to make amends, because definitely from that action, I know he's up to something. I know it, I feel it, and he's confident, and he's going to go full force. I guarantee it.
Well, let's look at the Kalani race. Kalani looks very interesting. Of course, we know Dr. Minnis has now said it today. He will run. More than likely, as an independent, maybe in the PLP. Leslie, you all even if the PLP talking to Dr. Minnis.
You could talk there.
Jesus,
You know my number.
when you put RM Lewis in the speaker chair, so you can do anything.
RM
you
in the
want to do.
speaker's
Anything
chair.
is possible.
The PLP
You're
feels
good,
generous
anything good.
now. The PLP is feeling generous. So who knows? RM is speaker.
Yeah.
Dr. Minnis, come. Let's have a
Next
talk.
thing, the pot cake running too. You
The
ain't running
pot
my
cake,
colleague.
the pot cake running. So,
Dr. Inge, let me go back.
but more than likely,
Yeah.
he perhaps will be an independent. Now, the COI has already announced its candidate for Kalani,
Who's that?
Dr. MacGyver, the deputy leader.
The deputy.
Word on the street is the Free National Movement is looking at someone who is still
Malafi?
is
No,
no
a young man, a young man,
a young guy who is known in the party,
Yeah.
who perhaps grew up in the party,
Yeah.
and he has its he has
Very
experience
enthused.
in the party.
I thought the deputy leader was going down there.
Going-
Cartwright.
Going where?
To take Minnesota.
That's rumor. That's
no,
rumor again.
No.
Huh?
I mean, they're
Who
talking
knows?
about it on the
Who
streets, but it's
knows?
rumor.
But how is that race looking, y'all? The fact that
Yeah,
Dr.
first of all, he
Minnis
can
step up.
lose in
Leslie, what you talking about Shannon Dawn for?
Mike could take him out.
Who's Mike you're talking about?
Michael
Yeah, Michael
Kiedis.
Akitas, that's what
Hang
he's
on.
talking about.
Take him out.
Leslie, can we get to Shannon Dawn after the break?
Fine.
Yes, because he made some startling announce and released some startling
Yeah, but
statistics.
nothing to back it up, eh?
Well, we'll
I
see.
got that.
France did the same thing too.
We'll see. Look at Justin with this thing. What I'm saying is, you all, how is that Kalani race likely to look? It's going to be quite interesting. You have a strong incumbent. You have, I'm not sure if she ran in that constituency before, the deputy leader of the Coalition of Independents.
Never run the web before.
Okay then, so it's her first time. You have also a first-timer within the FNM, someone who is word on the street, Lincoln Deal, it will more than likely is a young FNM.
He's on Lincoln Deal, young Lincoln Deal. Like she said, he's a very enthusiastic young man, and he's wanting to buy. We heard that as well.
Well, he don't mind getting run in the ground the first time, man.
Be kind, Dr. Miller. That's your cousin from Long Island. That's a
No,
deal.
I ain't getting a cousin from Long Island.
So
I'm from Ragged Island and Andrews.
So we say where we say Lincoln Deal will fit into all of that, if it's him, if he gets the nomination.
Go ahead, Leslie.
None of my business.
Where will the coalition fit into all that if Dr. MacGyver?
All we
Sit
can
him on
say is
there.
it's an interesting race. What you think you ain't gonna trap us tonight? We can leave that one alone.
Why y'all can't speak as Lincoln in the audience? I mean, Lincoln in the audience talk. Listen, anyway.
Well, let's just say, Shanique, it's going to be a very challenging race. You're looking at the Lightfoot Key group. You're looking at Old Fort Bay crew. I think you have Gambia Village in that mix.
Be a cut in there too.
Kalani is a huge
That'll be a cut.
constituency.
It is huge.
It's one of those constituencies that they're threatening to even divide and form a
That's gonna cut,
Clifton seat.
yeah.
And so right now, to have about 4 different entities running in that particular seat, it's going to be a battle, but I think it comes down to not only the money, But it comes down to the influence.
Personality.
It comes to the influence.
Yeah. By the way, I want to say this just before we go to this break. And I'm grateful for the viewers are the most amazing and so informed. So let me just put this out there. And I trust the credibility of where this came from. And so if it's wrong, I'll come back and correct it. So it says we have had a third-party representation in the House in the past. In 1977 Parliament, there was a PLP, BDP, FNM, and SDP. So this is what they're saying. Also, Greg Moss also tabled a members' bill after leaving the PLP during that cycle when Greg he didn't last long, Leslie. No. When Greg Moss was in Parliament, you all remember he's from Grand Bahama, I think. And so there's that. Beyond the Headlines is back after this. Stay close.
Keep the Vibe Alive Music Group presents The Legends of Rake Spray. Get ready for the biggest names in Bahamian music live on stage. KB, Funky D, Gino D, D-Mac, Sweet Emily, Simeon Outen, Veronica Bishop, and more like the Singing Bishop. Mark your calendars for Saturday, May 10th at the Farm, Marshall Road. Gates open at 6 p.m. General admission 80, VIP 120. Tickets available at Missouri, Bookie Brand at the Beauty Shack, both locations. For Skyboxes and Skypod, call ESC Distributors at 394-0819. Or email keepthevibealive242@gmail.com. Saturday, May 10th, come by Bo and play and experience the legends of Rake and Scrape. Brought to you by Keep the Vibe Alive Music Group, ESC Distributors, Missouri, The Plug, The Beauty Shack, Bahamas Inn, Bookie Brand, and Caribbean Wines and Spirits.
The internet isn't just for surfing. There's a sea of shoppers buying online, and you can connect with them on Tingsy. Tingsy is the SBDC's online storefront built for Bahamians. Take your business to the next level by selling to customers online, both at home and around the world. People want Bahamian things, and if you got things to sell, sell on Tingsy. Find out how you can connect with a sea of buyers by visiting TingsyBahamas.com.
Take sports seriously. Get ready to experience the thrill of winning anytime and any place. Bet in real time and live the thrill of every play while watching your winnings stack up. It's your chance to score big with fast payouts and a world-class experience. Get in the game and bet the Bahamian way with Island Luck Sportsbook.
So you want a space. But not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
If you enjoy watching Beyond the Headlines, take advantage of our exclusive offers with 4 15-minute interview segments at $1,200 and 20 30-second TV ads at $2,000. Contact 557-0258 or 557-0259 for more information. Go beyond with Beyond the Headlines.
This segment of Beyond the Headlines is brought to you by EV Motors. Drive the future with brand new 2024 electric vehicles. EV Motors, powering your journey.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. Well, shifting gears now, still on politics really, but on crime. We all know that crime continues to be a challenge in this nation. I think it was at the weekend on Saturday, there were 4 homicides, 4 hours apart. And then on Sunday, there was a fatal stabbing as well. So in total over the weekend, 4 homicides. So 3 on Saturday and another on Sunday. 4 homicides. It is quite troubling for everyone involved, you know. The entire nation really wants this matter addressed. However, though, F&M Deputy Leader Shannon Cartwright, too, is speaking out on the state of crime and murder in the Bahamas. In fact, in a news release late this afternoon, Cartwright says that, you know, the Progressive Liberal Party is failing the Bahamian people when it comes to effectively addressing crime, and that it's been over 40% increase in murders since the PLP came into power. I want to bring back into this discussion the panelists. It's really good, of course, for you all to continue to join in, and thanks for being in this segment. You all, what do you make of that statistic? I don't know if he supported it or anything, but he gave sort of a graph presenting how he came up with the 40% number, but 40% increase. But your thoughts?
Well, crime is always a very serious matter in our country. Around March 31st of this year, the United States did send out a travel advisory alert that they were warning the residents of North America that when they visit the Bahamas, especially Nassau and Grand Bahama, that we had some sexual assaults, we have some violent behavior, we had burglaries, etc., and that these tourists should be warned that when they come to the Bahamas, they should be practicing utmost caution. I do believe this whole conversation when it comes to crime in the Bahamas, it has been nothing more than bat and ball. It's just a game that politicians have played over the last 15, 20 years. No one seems to be able to find a solution for crime.
Because you know what, God, there's no outright solution. It is a multi-pronged thing, and it has to be led with strong hands and decisions, like the president of El Salvador.
Well, you have to go ahead and look at your laws. You have to look at the fact that if someone is going to kill somebody, right here on this show, I heard Celeste Miller and Brandon McCartney mention that, you just need to just hang these people, pop their necks. I heard that on this show, by the way.
This show on Monday night.
Both gentlemen actually had some history when it came to their own family members being victims. And so I felt their passion through the television screen. And for those people who have also experienced such, I give you my condolences, sympathies, and I understand your pain. But what Mr. Cartwright has done was that he took a window which actually occurred around 2018, 19, and 20. Those numbers came up to 259 individuals over the course of those 3 years. But if you remember now, September 1st, we had a Hurricane Dorian that came and visited us somewhere around 2019, somewhere thereabout.
2019.
Yeah, and when it came, that was a Category 5 hurricane. You also had the, what you call the pandemic with COVID-19. We were on shutdown, we were on lockdown. And so the numbers for the Free National Movement would have been much lower. The lower number is only 99 off from the PLP's now present record. Only 99. With everything going on during the time of the F&M, it's only a 99 increase. So what is he saying to us? He's not saying to us that they had the solution when they were in power. He's only saying that, you know what, your number is bigger than our number, so therefore
it's almost saying your thing bigger than my thing. Listen, my thing is stop that foolishness doesn't benefit anybody in this nation.
It doesn't.
No one, because the thing about it is we all want crime addressed. The statistics don't even matter if there's no real solutions behind it.
There's no solutions. He didn't give any solutions, and this is why I've always said that, in this upcoming election, just as you have recognized the issues of our country, we the people have also recognized these issues. In terms of the solution, people are depending on the government, they're depending on churches, they're depending on schools, they're depending on civil servants to bring answers to our problems. When the government fails, when the royal opposition fails, then who do we have left? We're almost like a free society where we got to figure this out for ourselves. We got to run into our homes just like the tourists do, and we got to go ahead and barricade ourselves. Now, recently, Shanique Miller, I don't know if you saw this, the new Prime Minister of Trinidad, I don't know if you heard what she said, but you can go ahead and you Google it
Man,
and you
I
find
thought
it.
that was AI. Seriously, was that real for real?
Whether it was real or not, it resonated.
It resonated and it went viral.
It shows that people just want to find a horse that's going to say,
yes,
we got to do what we got to do. Now, we don't want that.
But that is what people want.
Yeah, but we don't want that in this Bahamas. We want to stay in a controlled situation. We want the authorities to do their jobs, but we cannot have police officials involved in such cases. We cannot have people who we look to for comfort, like pastors, involved in such situations. We have to get into our schools and change the behavior of students so that our future can be brighter and safer in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
You know, when it comes to murder, I go back to my old axiom. A man has to think wrong before he does wrong. If someone make up their mind that they're going to commit a murder, they're going to kill this guy and take him out, you expect the police to be everywhere at every time? Think about it now. There's a murder in Blue Hills. There's a murder in Hay Street. There's a murder in Camp Road. How is the police supposed to ascertain or even try with whatever connections they have with those areas? Who's going to kill who at what time? It's impossible. It's a societal problem that we have. Men and women have to think different. In our time growing up, we had a lot of fights. But the next morning we go to school and play with each other and be friends. The guys today want to kill you. The one they killed last week on Blue Hill Road or Farm Road, I understand. This guy was out on bail for 3 murders. And the fellas are of the opinion that you're not going to get nothing done in the courts, so they take it into their own hands. Well, if you kill my brother, I can kill you when you come out. And I don't know why the hell they give them bail. As soon as they get bail, within a month they're dead.
It's intentional.
But you can't blame the police or political party. Mind you, I say too. The PLP did it in the election before last. Where we put all those signs out there,
all over
right?
the place.
So everybody play these games.
It's just a game.
But that is not a game.
It's not a game.
That is a finality.
It's not a game, and that's what is so insulting about it.
And it
Because
disrupts.
it was wrong then, and it's wrong to
the
play the
country.
game now.
You know, when we had one Mr. Rodney Moncur, and once again, we
God
continue
bless
to
him.
give sympathies to his family and those who love him.
Yes.
You could have seen the earnest desire when Rodney Moncur just simply said, hang him.
Yeah,
hang
all
him,
his life.
Hang him, you know. This government that is speaking about crime, you understand that capital punishment is on the books. Why don't you have a discussion on that? Why don't you show us that you're serious about violence in our country and you're willing to do the full length of the law?
He hasn't said that.
Until you are prepared to have a full conversation, a complete conversation, and show some earnest desire to rectify this problem, we don't need anyone to identify the issues of the Bahamas any longer. We all see it, we all feel it, we all know it. We just need somebody who's going to just simply fix it.
There's not going to be any appreciable downgrading in crime and murder until someone is hanged. If a fella knows he can get killed, he don't mind killing somebody, you know. And he's going to go to jail for 15, 20 years. Remember, 7 out of 10 murders generally end up free.
When did we last have a gun?
The system
When did we
is so
last have
inept. That's what happened.
When did we last have a gun amnesty, Mr. Miller, where we allowed the young people to bring the guns to the police station? When did you last hear about that?
Why would you do that?
Because they told the young people just bring the guns in. They're going to give them a bribe, but they want the guns off the
Listen,
street.
do you know I can take you right now in an area, part of my old constituency, I can go right now tonight and rent a gun for $50. I can leave here right now, go up there and get a gun for $50
Now,
for the
Mr.
night.
Miller, I don't
and
want
take
to
it
pick
back
you
tomorrow.
up at the front door tonight, you know,
You hear
he's
what
my
I say?
friend. Because they're going to want to know what you know.
Okay? I said I can go now and get the brothers $50. I can rent a gun for the night.
What type of country
Disturbing,
are you in?
disturbing. And that is why it's a
And the going
serious
price now
issue.
to get somebody killed is $5,000. And you want 2 is $8,000. Fellas, give you a discount and all.
Jesus, I don't want to laugh, but come
Listen
on.
to me.
man.
That's the
Listen,
fact of
and
life.
see, and see, Leslie and Garth, this is why it's serious.
That's the
This
fact
is
of
why
life.
you don't throw stuff and hope it sticks
Okay.
just to make a point and maybe get a
It's a
headline.
societal problem.
Come with your real solutions.
Yes, yes,
Even
yes.
AI or not, in which I firmly believe it's AI with the new Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, people want to hear tough talk and tough action to follow it. That is why the President of El Salvador is now the superstar of the Western Hemisphere, because he has put his money where his mouth is and have been tough on
Yeah, but
crime, and it's a very
also
peaceful nation.
Did away with a lot of innocent people too. Right?
Yeah, that's okay.
He was no damn
listen,
on Santa Claus.
no, but I can tell you this, Leslie. Some innocent will suffer, you know?
Well, you're always innocent. But you know, it's amazing that Mr. Cartwright would come with his statistics at this time. What did his government do to hang anybody?
Nothing.
Huh?
Nothing.
Did he say now that they will bring in capital punishment?
No.
So how the hell they can stop it?
Meanwhile, Dr. Dwayne Sands, former Minister of Health and F&M chairman, says, listen, if the Bahamian people were to re-elect the Progressive Liberal Party, their health will suffer. He says more than 26,000 people stand to actually have their health
jeopardized.
In jeopardy, because this PLP government is not serious about health care. They have failed on hospitals and all the rest of that go into it. Gentlemen, your thoughts on that's a very strong statement, a very, very strong statement and position that he's put forth.
Well, he borrowed some statistics, and of course, if we were to continue, if we continue on this trend, right, we know that this is possibly how it will actually affect us. The issue, though, is like Mr. Leslie Miller just said a while ago, when you were the Minister of Health, when you were in power, what did you do? You know, this political bat and ball, ping pong.
More than humans. You forget it. Huh? The funerals for the dog out like the geek. Damn funeral for dog.
Well, you know, the dog must be paying campaign funds, you know.
I guess so.
Yeah, that's a life of key dog. That ain't no pot cake, boy.
No, that's one of the
But you know, Shanique Miller, I don't see any governors taking the health situation serious in this country. That hospital has been deplorable for years. Even I know that if something happens to me, I don't want to go in there. We've seen prime ministers who have not gone in there. We've seen notable people who have not gone in there. And so, you know, it's risky. We've had complaints coming out of there. We just need someone who simply can bring us a plan and tell us how you can fix the hospital. You chose a stadium and never gave us a hospital. You're going to choose other situations and infrastructure in this country, airports, but you're not going to take care of the health situation? Come on, man. We can do better.
Listen.
We can do better.
The government is in the process now of building a new hospital. You don't forget it.
In the process
the Chinese are funding it.
In the process.
Okay?
In the process.
Some $265 million, eh?
Yes, sir.
Whatever it is, some it is. But what is interesting, what Dr. Sands did, he said, fresh analysis from the Free National Movement Research Department.
Oh.
Now where the hell they get this department from?
They created it.
The Free National Movement Health.
Well, you know, they're being innovative.
Think of that, man. They now have a research department.
Leslie, they should.
Y'all got to stop, you know.
They're researching stuff.
Huh?
They still won't find a solution. They still won't find a solution.
I just hope Rodney didn't go that way. That's all he got to hope. God bless him.
Oh, my God.
Leslie,
no, he's complaining on television.
Leslie.
You ain't able tonight.
On television.
Leslie, no.
He complained on television.
No.
He was afraid.
No.
That's all I'm saying.
No, Leslie.
God bless him.
No.
I said he complained on television.
No.
I got nothing else to say.
That has nothing to do with it.
Okay, God, may his soul rest in peace.
Leslie, shoot.
Okay.
That has nothing to do with it. That has nothing to do with
I didn't say something. I just say Rodney McCarthy.
I want you, Leslie, I want you to stop.
Miller?
That don't nothing to do with it. That don't.
I didn't say it did.
Yeah, that nothing. Okay. Leave it alone. Yes, leave it alone. That ain't nothing to do with it. All I know, I'll tell you this. Leave the people. The people are gonna talk. One thing with Bahamians, Justin, one thing Bahamians gonna do is talk. That's what they can do. And I'll tell you, Bahamian people, start eating right, eh? How about that? Let's start there. Let's take your health into your own hands and start eating right. You understand? What do you mean gotta do with it? Stop eating KFC. This is Beyond the Headlines. I thank you all so much for tuning in this evening. It's really awesome having you all here. Have a good night.
I wonder if he was celebrating